Women's Power to Heal Mother Earth. I am Maya Tiwari. Our liminal time. Liminal. A beautiful word that speaks to the juncture that we all find ourselves in today, in this critical time of world history in our lives. Liminality is said to be the quality of disorientation, disconcertment that occurs in the middle stage of a rite of passage, when participants no longer hold their pre-ritual status, but have not yet accomplished the status they will hold when the rite is complete. This is so germane to the time that we're living in, for each one of us, regardless and because of our experiences. There are many of us who will probably not be able to climb over the very steep climbs and to the plinth of our own, not survival, because we're not looking to survive. It's very difficult to thrive as well when we are in pain and suffering and a disoriented state of the unknown. Liminality brings us close to the understanding of embracing the unknown, which is always the future. But how easy is it to embrace that which we do not know, that which we cannot know, and that which we will not know, until such time as it betrays itself to us. And how do we get there? Well, thanks to the Vedic tradition, we have yoga, meditation, pranayama, breath practices, an understanding of our own karma in terms of our the lunar phases at the time of our birth, which is in our Vedic Jyotisha sciences. So much that the Vedas have given, the Hindu people in particular, have given to the rest of the world. That's another conversation to be had at another time. But we're living in such a state of heightened falsities, such a state of heightened beliefs that are based in shadows, shallow waters, mud and gore. Our belief systems have been fashioned for the last 1,000 years at least, if not the last 5,000 years. But let us understand that in our human life on earth, there has never been a day without the state of war someplace, somewhere. Now, this is not meant to disorient us further. This statement is meant to have us see the reality of where we live, and perhaps it would make it easier for us to accept and understand that we are in a state of war and have been so from beginningless time, at least from our manifestation as human beings upon this planet called Earth. And this is not a pessimistic thing or a negative view. It is the reality. It is the reality that there are so many trillions of karmas at play in each and every sentient being, not including the exquisite animals, not including the other exquisite creatures upon our earth, but only speaking to the 7 or 7.5 billion human people that occupy this grand planet. To that sentiency, I say, we have always been at war, in one way or another, with one country or another, in the outer terrains of battles and wars and and competition and competitiveness and ambition and power struggles. And in the inner field, we have always been at war with ourselves, our ideologies, our belief systems, what we have been trained to understand and believe in a way that is fashioned after the DNA or the cellular memory of our forebears. Now, I'm not saying that these formats have not served us, but I'm saying that they have been manipulated. They have been tested. They have been shadowed. These are manipulations that humanity, under the control of the very few who still exert the power, who still think they are the divine forces of God and Goddess, who still believe that their neoliberalistic, tyrannical, cowardly reign will be of benefit to their vision for what humanity should become. Now, in accepting what is part and parcel of our own experiences, which we must accept, I have had a great deal of difficulty accepting the odious, vile, and violent actions put upon my body, my being, my home, my environment 24/7 by these cowards. So I will not speak lovingly about that which I do not feel lovingly about. But I will tell you this truth, that I'd like myself, my words, to be an exemplar, an exemplum for you to understand yourself. We're not here to be in the pleasing party. We're not here to buy into neoliberalistic ideologies that tell us that we can become prosperous, we can become abundant, it's just our mind and the way of it. Or that tell us that what doesn't kill us make us stronger. Well, it could make us lame, it could make us crippled, it could make us blind, it could make us lose our faith, our hope, our incredible humanity. I want you to be real with yourself, to know that what you're experiencing, however and whatever the cause might be, is never superficial. How you feel is how you feel. And there's always a reason for it. You may not be clear on what it is. We may not be clear on what it is. Your therapist may not be clear on what it is. But in the divine reality, that you feel a certain way, you must honor, we must honor, I must honor. We are living in what I call a liminal time. And this liminality will last for years. It is the in-between time when the cocoon cannot release itself into becoming a butterfly as yet, because the cocoon needs more gestation time. And in this gestation, it is chaotic, it is suffering, it is claustrophobic, it is all sorts of phobia, all sorts of fears, all sorts of whatever. The grime of manifestation is in it. We are living in it. We may not be able to become the butterfly, and I want to bring this up because we're not striving in the cocoon to become anything other than to have patience to see this through. Patience itself allows us time and space, inner space, to just be, without thought, without fears, without grievances, without prejudices, and without angst and anger. Oh, I so hope to embrace that time of surrender when my anger releases and my angst about the powerful cowards that I refer to so often in my podcast. But for now, I speak truth, the truth that comes through my instrument of beingness and awareness, unafraid of repercussions, and there have been many repercussions each time I put out a podcast that refers to the cowardly acts of the so-called pseudo-powerful, but we have bought into their ideology of power, and so we have given our power over to them, and it is this collective Shakti, this collective power that they use against so many of us, that they use against humanity, that they use against the entire rhythm of human laws, human dharma, and Mother Earth. Sometimes I wonder how we are going to get through the muddled mess that we have found ourselves in. But that is, again, not a question for the cocoon. In this incredible space of this cocoon, we are here to bide our days, our hours, our minutes, our time. It is called the liminal space because we are in between being formatted from the cocoon to the butterfly. I do not know the survival rate of cocoons that flourish into butterflies, but I do know this. What is specific for all of us collectively today, regardless of our traditions and our cultures and our differences of age and belief systems, is this truth of liminality. The cocoon is where we lose the false self, the false beliefs, the false ideologies, the shadowed, deeply anemic lifestyle that we have become accustomed to, that have been sold to us and that we have bought hook, line, and sinker. That is where the cocoon is. We're not able to even siphon through the ords and the pieces and plethora of it all. But we can lay still. We can use our breathing force to breathe. We can bring upon us stillness even if we do not know how to meditate. We can go back to Mother Nature wherever we find her grass and her trees and her palm and her pines. And we can listen to the wind that whistle through the openings and spaces that a forest gives, or the rippling of the waves as it touches the shore, or the glistening stream that reminds us that we are as grand and as lit as the sun itself. In this liminal time of just being in this cocoon, there is only one thought, and that is the thought of I must and I will and I can embrace what is not known to me. I have to, because there's no sense in projecting beyond this time. In this cocoon, I must be real to myself. I must be real to how I feel. Anger, frustration, bitterness, hatred, prejudice, whatever comes up, I must honor it as part of the journey of being in the cocoon, and therefore there is complete acceptance of being in the cocoon. We do not have to analyze what many and so many of neoliberalistic soothsayers have to say to us. We do not have to feel badly about how we are, how we feel, and where we're at. We must get rid of these manipulative and egregious ideas that are foisted upon us by neoliberalistic thinkings, actions, and doings simply for the purpose of controlling your mind, your destiny, your DNA, your purpose. If we are angry, let us be angry. If we feel bitterness, let us feel that bitterness. And let us honor all of those feelings. We're not going to make saints out of villains who live amongst us. But we can refrain from wasting our energies by responding to them. Let us be in the space of the cocoon. Let this liminal time be a time where the divine energies and the 5 elements of Mother Nature naturally reformat us into whatever the outcome, whatever the future may bring. It is patience. It has never been one of the greatest assets of my very brilliant life. But I am learning as I become more mature, not only by age, but by my experiences. As I relinquish so much of the earlier naivete that came with my culture, my being, myself, as an immigrant to the United States, as a person of the third world, birth as a person removed from the motherland ancestry, as a woman who has walked through hellfire and back again over and over again, I am now able to accept this very simple thing of simply being myself in the cocoon and learning patience. Learning patience. Because if anything at all we have to work toward, it is patience. If our thoughts should be focused anywhere, it is the reminder of patience. Because doing yoga in the cocoon, sitting in perfectly good Buddhist meditation in the cocoon, running like an athlete in the cocoon, are not options that the cocoon offer because of space and time. And so let us just be in this cocoon with the stillness, with the reflection, with the power of patience. If we cannot embrace it, at least accept that we do not know the unknown, nor can we know the unknown. This is what the liminal time is about. This is what the time in your life, my life, and every life on the planet Earth today is about. I speak to you with great truth, great love, and also sometimes with great angst. I am being myself, and I invoke that for you as well, because it is the most perfect healing tool that we human beings carry, and that is to be where we are, with ourselves, at ourselves, in whichever state that may be. Peace be your journey, and thank you for listening.